Good morning, everybody. This is Dee, and we're going to get started with our webinar this morning. And we would like to welcome everybody. And if you have any questions, answer the poll that's on the screen right now. And if you have a specific question, we will get to that. But we do need you to put that into the chat pod if you have a specific question that we haven't covered by the so that we can go over a couple of things. And if everybody can see my screen. All right, so what we wanted to do today was show everybody about the services. So if you are in your customer screen, and again, this is the screen where there is just test information. None of this is valid. If you go to a particular person and look at their plan, one of the things that was updated training and employment plan, we can click on the items here that say show assessments, show credentials, show services, and what this will now do is show all of the services that your individuals have had. So that is the important things is that you do need to follow the process that was established to set up your individuals, to go through step 1, go through step 2, all of the different steps in order so that a random assignment process works properly. We did have one area that bypassed the system. You do follow the process. All right, so the next thing that I would like to show you is that we do need to step up the number of things that you are doing for workplace learning and job forecasting. And I just wanted to only this many individuals that are in the projected openings for the workplace forecast. So what you need to do is you need to enter jobs in the job training plan so that they show up in the job training plan, and that all permanent jobs will show in the training plan if they are within that target occupation. So in here with the placements as well, we want to show where all the placements are, and so that the jobs are showing up in the screens for those individuals into the program. And then with the work-based learning, and let me get into that screen. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong screen right here. Let's go over here to workplace learning. So, for example, if we're on Acorn, with the information that is down here for the job forecasts, we have number of positions. We can look at this, and down lower in the screen, it will show you all of the different areas. It will show you the number of openings that are available and whether it's permanent employment. Show to all of your applicants in your target occupation, or you can display it to the following customers, and then you can add specific customers in here. So if you want someone to see a permanent employment, you can do one of these two things. If it is a work-based learning, then you have to choose to show it to a specific customer, and then that person can bookmark it and then note who can see that position. The next thing that I want to show you is that in the training plan dashboard, I'm going back to the dashboard here. In the training plan dashboard, sorry, the computer's thinking a little bit today. You know, you gotta love technology. Maybe it's the snow that we got that's making it cold and it doesn't want to get out of its blankets this morning. So in the training plan dashboard, the workforce partners notification they've just been receiving emails of notifications of whether someone is on track or off track. So one way to check this is that the service dates not met is kind of like what would be considered a soft bounce. So what you need to do with this is change the dates on that particular person so that they are not considered off track. Now, if it actually says service is off track, so this pink column here, then that means that someone actually physically went into that person's profile and clicked off track. So what you need to make sure that you're doing is keeping up to date with whether or not somebody's dates are appropriate or whether they really are off track and someone needs to move that date or make them back on track. And then what it also shows is within IWDS services, I need to get into that screen. In IWDS services, if you look at these numbers, we have 259 people successfully in the program. But with credentials, we only have 98 total with credentials, and 82 of those have completed the MSS Safety Certificate. Now, Mike, would you like to take a look at or make a mention of what we need to be doing with this MSS Safety Certificate?
Yeah, thanks, Dee. I just have a question for everyone because we based our process directly on information that was provided by MSSC. And that information said that individuals, when they complete the online test, can get their score immediately and know how they did. But that score or screenshot, if you will, that you can take off the system is considered an unofficial credential, and that the official credential would arrive in the mail from MSSC in a few weeks, like 4 to 6 weeks after taking the test. So what we wanted to make sure we did was to make sure that we didn't lose track of that official credential. We asked folks to put in IWDS when that official credential was conferred. So I guess and I just want to better understand what your experience has been with that. Are your clients receiving hard copies later, or are you getting some sort of electronic version that's considered official by MSSC? So I guess if you're getting hard copy, just raise your hand.
Mike, this is Jim. I was out at the Central Region meeting they had last week, and that's when this was brought up. Apparently there was an email, at least again to the Central Region folks, that was sent by the folks who traditionally would send the hard copy credential. They sent an email with a website, and that's when they told them that they could go on and print out the credential. And somebody else had mentioned that they were no longer sending those. So again, that was what I learned from the Central Region. Larry can speak much more to that than I can. So I just wanted to pass that on.
Okay. Can we unmute Larry? So Larry put a comment in that.
If Larry calls into the number, then I can unmute him.
Okay.
But he needs to put into the pod what number he's calling in from.
And I will address something. This is Jim again. That is what was brought up is you have to pay extra for them to mail the hard copy if you don't want just the one printed off of the computer. Some of the folks were a little bit upset because they would presume when you pay for a training session, you shouldn't have to pay to get your credential.
Right, that's a good question. So what credential? And if no,
Yes, I'd say, Mike, that you would want to get the confirmation. So, but my big thing on that is if we're waiting on a credential that's never going to come before we load it in, we need to figure this out. So,
absolutely. So if the credential that can be downloaded from MSSC's website is considered official and is free, by all means, we should take advantage of that. What we need to find out is if it is considered official by MSSC. So I will investigate that today with Jim Nelson as well, and we will get an answer and let everyone know on that, because I don't want to have people burdened with extra waiting and extra cost if it's not absolutely necessary. My understanding from the information on MSSC's own website was that it was necessary, but if we find out that they changed the process but didn't update their website, we will take advantage of whatever flexibility that we can. So, let's see. How many folks raised their hand on that one?
No one raised their hand on that.
Okay. All right. Thanks. So, yeah, you're right, Larry. John Wood is up to speed on that. So, we will be doing, checking it from various angles and seeing if we're getting different stories from different perspectives there. And we will get guidance to everyone as soon as we know something official. But at this point, officially, our understanding is the official credential comes in the mail. So we're not going to change our guidance until we know definitively that that's not the case. Okay, so of the 18 folks that are on, I'd like to get 100% response on this poll question. So is anyone, just give me your perspective on getting this job info, forecasting info from employers or employer association or employer groups. You can give me a yes, no, or it maybe could also be don't know. But I'd like to get 17 votes in there and see what everyone's understanding is.
We have 9, 10.
Keep those votes coming.
Come on, everybody. We need 17. Up to 11. We only need 4 more. Kathy Wallum says she doesn't understand the question, so do you want to explain a little bit better?
Okay, Dee, can you go back to that forecast screen?
The forecast screen. Let me, right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, base is, are we looking at statewide here?
Statewide.
Okay, so if you look here, based on the forecast data that's been entered, and this is the information that you should be using to figure out what you are training people in, because we're trying to match up the training with the demand, right? So right now, this is telling us that we have about 60 jobs, maybe 70 jobs, tops, in all of the ATIM regions that have been entered. Okay, we got 35 in welding, 29 in machining, and then some nickel dime stuff elsewhere. Now we know there are a ton more jobs out there than that, but we know that from the LMI data. What we're trying to get to is getting real job openings and real demand from your region so that the clients have a better idea to make an informed decision about what training they want to go into, but also that all of the case managers in the region have a better idea for what jobs are out there, but also what work-based learning opportunities might be available in the region. So this is an area of the whole work the way it was intended to work. So it's come to our attention that employers have been a little reluctant. Either they don't know themselves because they don't forecast that far ahead, or they've been a little reluctant to provide some of that information in some cases. It runs the gamut. But in most cases, the reality is they just don't know. I mean, there are factors that happen so fast with the weather or the amount of orders they get that they react much quicker based on issues like that. And so they may not know, 6 weeks out or 6 months out what their needs are. But many of them do. However, if you're having a difficult time getting information from your employers or employer associations, a good alternative is to partner with a placement agency, because especially as manufacturers are working with them already, they're giving them the orders so they know, what's in demand. So, my advice is, if you're having a hard time getting this information to complete this section of the system, then consider approaching the placement agencies. And you don't really need to know which specific employers are involved. You just kind of need to know the number of orders that they're getting for particular job titles and particular skill sets. And that should give you a lot more robust information to either for shorter term or longer term training.
All right, so now, Mike, you need to read Mike Pierman's comment in here.
Okay, so not everyone in our region deals with this part of the program. Okay. And the folks in your region to determine